Hey the YouTube, it's about Lipid out here with another reaction video. Today we got Pinned from Final Fantasy XIV. I destroyed the oldest world record. This is for Kugane Tower. Let's get right into it, shall we? Hit it.
Be popular for various reasons. And
Yeah.
during its 500 hours of life-changing story, you meet amazing characters, become a little bit bisexual, and go to some rather cool cities.
He's not wrong.
And one of these cities is Kugane. Home to the Kugane Tower and its infamous jumping puzzle.
Yep. I've played a little bit of Final Fantasy XIV. I haven't even gotten it yet. But you know enough. I mean, it's not that dramatic, but...
On your first visit to Kugane, it is tradition to attempt to climb the tower. For some people, it takes only minutes to beat, and others simply give up and still haven't completed it to this day.
Yeah.
And yes, their parents are very disappointed in them.
This is one of the beautiful things about Final Fantasy XIV is the community, which is also why you don't really have to pay attention to the story. You have, like, I've seen people, like, just be there, just to cosplay and dance in a particular spot on say, a specific bridge, and don't move from there the entire day. And they just keep repeating this day on day. And that's what they want to do with their friends. Like, yeah, it's cool, I guess.
The tower features several
And
jumps
some people even
that
form bands as well. It's really cool what you can do in
falling
Final Fantasy
completely
XIV.
resets your progress.
Yep.
And as you rapidly descend towards the ground, your friends will be watching.
In disappointment. Sad.
And that is where I come in.
Yes, man.
As Heavensward had just finished ripping my heart out of my chest, I was ready to start Stormblood.
Okay.
And arrive at Kugane. I've heard stories of this place. I'd hear my friends complaining about the tower and how hard it was. The dog in me was ready for a real challenge, and I would sniff it out.
Yeah.
No matter
Oh,
the
this I
cost.
gotta see. Pint, you're not really helping your, allegations of being a furry, but, we move.
My first climb took me 16 minutes. A pretty respectable time.
17 hours.
I was satisfied and confident that I was in fact...
Hey, Glazed, I've not even played to that section of the game. I've seen speedruns, they're not even speedruns, just people trying it for the first time. Some even take up to an hour. It's not really surprising.
at video games, and that someday a girl might talk to me. As all the other streamers took over 16
Yeah, might be on
minutes, here I was.
Hey,
Bus-
it only took this guy
15
15
minutes.
minutes.
Oh, well, that's fine. It wasn't fine. Hearing my chat say this lit a flame in my
Yeah, I
heart.
gotta see this.
I am a very competitive person, and I could not let myself get bested by the likes of a live streamer. So the next day, I climbed the tower in 4 minutes.
Okay.
Are you happy now, Twitch chat? Hey, Twitch chat, where'd you get those cool clothes, by the way? Oh, we got them from pint.gg.
Go ahead, hit the
link in the
sponsor button.
description. However, I
Gotta
didn't
keep moving.
stop there. I wanted to go even further. Which is where this gets interesting. Because that is when I searched the world record.
Ooh.
There is no speedrun.com
I guess maybe 3 minutes? Maybe
listing
two?
for Kugane Tower. Just a billion dungeon speedruns no one cares about. But there is YouTube. And that is where I found him. 5 long years ago, there was one man who dominated Kugane Tower. His name was Emo Otacon.
Okay.
3 days after the release of Stormblood, he set the world record at just under a minute.
Like, you gotta understand, knowing how the tower is played 1 minute, sub 1 minute is impressive. But what's even more impressive to me is the fact that you had a speedrun record that lasted that long. Like, typically a speedrun record is usually broken in like, what, a couple of weeks or a month? You think 5 years?
And then, over the course of only a single month, he lowered the world record to 43.58 seconds.
Huh? 43?
A time that has never been broken since.
Yeah, I
could
can
find
imagine why. But then wait, how would you pull it off? Would you have to do class changes and then try? I mean, you can do the ninja dash, I think. Or was it the ninja teleport? I don't know. You might have to do some weird class changing things as well, right?
Nothing to contest this time. Not even close.
You can do it with just one class.
Otacon was the undefeated
least
champion since
from
the
what I
tower's release. In those 30 days, he set a record that would stand for 5
That's the more
years.
impressive part. That's just plain impressive.
This is unacceptable.
The burning
How
competitive
could
spirit.
the world record be held by a male Aura? The worst
I mean, they're not that bad. I'm just saying. But okay, all right.
in the game. No. This title belonged to a little guy, to Lally Ho, and Lally show the world how it's done.
You know, I think what's even more hilarious is the fact that, you know, it's like contemplating the idea that this Lullafell is going to have the world record. I'm just saying. Because being the shortest class.
Is what people should see when they think Queen of Kugane Tower!
Yes, the dramatic pose with the Oreo and the Mikote. I mean, he's right on that. Yeah, that's how romance works. He's not wrong.
So I set out to go where none had gone before. Not even him.
And so I began my research, during which I came to a shocking revelation. One that would have the entire community in pitchforks against me. A truth that would render the hearts of every streamer broken and sundered. The infamous Kugane Tower.
Well, it's not that.
That dastardly Kugane Tower.
But Pine, I'm just saying, you seem slightly obsessed with the tower, brother. I'm just saying. That's it.
That gripped so many poor souls with fear. Is kind of easy. So maybe streamers are just throwing for content. But between you and me, this tower is a little baby tower. The start is pretty fucking annoying,
Yeah.
but after a while you can kind of do it without thinking, but it still is annoying to fall. I hate it.
Right.
It's the worst part. The part after is so easy, even my kitten could do it. Ow. Peg wall beta.
Exalt, no.
Might give you some trouble, but the jumps have very little variance and can kind of be cheesed. On the top is the dreaded roof, which is just kind of weird sometimes.
Oh.
After that, there's Peg Wall Mini, which is for babies. Look at how easy this is. After that, the run starts to get a little more quirky. Peg Wall Alpha.
Yo, you think?
Possibly the hardest part of the run, and where most of my runs ended. The peculiar spacing of the pegs, the invisible walls all over the fucking place, and clearing this brings you to the shrimbly bimbly.
Oh, the
section.
face of the
Fuck
tower,
it, that's
right?
what I'm calling this part. Here, a single misplaced jump will send you to the bottom. And
Yep.
while it looks rather scary, the jumps are actually pretty easy. And this will take you to the balcony of hope, where you need to quickly
You just call it the balcony of hope. It's like, oh, I'm almost there.
make a single tricky jump.
Yeah.
Risking
The leap
it
of
all,
faith.
hoping that you don't bump into this wall. Until the rooftop of the
He
heavens.
just floats up all the way there.
A place only gods can know. You are safe now.
Uh-huh.
And with some forgiving geometry, you are left staring at the clock as you complete some final, simple jumps.
Foreshadowing.
And if I could
Yeah, that
perfect
seems like a very foreshadowing way of putting it out there. I'm just saying.
all this, I could complete the tower consistently and quickly. If I could do that live on stream, then thousands of people would be dazzled, marveled even, by my nimble feet. and pure
will they know?
So now I just needed to break the undefeated 5-year-old record.
Right.
And luckily, I had a trump card. Dancer and Reaper. 2 classes that weren't in the game 5 years ago. In fact, Reaper was only added to the game earlier that week. And both classes allow me to dash. Epic.
Oh, it was
Celeste
Reaper that
reference.
allows you to dash.
It
Ah,
wouldn't
yeah.
trivialize the run, but it would shave off a couple seconds. But horizontal movement only gets you so
Dancer
far.
for the other one,
Because
right?
a lot of the run is about going up the tower and not fucking across it, idiot. To jump good, you have to sort of angle yourself into the wall. Depending on the angle, your jump will be shorter. And that was it. No other tricks to improve the run. The rest would have to come down to pure skill.
Skill issue.
And so more prepared than my previous attempts. I climbed.
Oh, this should be good.
And it paid off quickly. In my first hour, I got a time of 1 minute 28 seconds.
That's good.
By the second hour, it was 1 minute 05.
I'm going to imagine it's more difficult from here on
seconds
out.
away from the record. Progress was fast, and I was committed. I was starting to think this whole world record thing might just be obtainable. After all, it only took this random guy a month to set a record. How hard could it be?
Endwalker.
Arguably the best piece of content in Final Fantasy history, and it was released 5 days ago.
Oh.
While my friends explored new worlds, I was here, climbing. Random people watching as I would ascend the tower
To fall
only
down.
to fall again.
Yeah.
I was like a cryptid, saying nothing, just climbing. And yet, my best
I mean, that is
time
dedication, I am saying.
was still 1 minute 05. But I kept pushing, because each run it was abundantly clear that I had messed up. So if I simply didn't fail, I would have a personal record.
True.
But after almost a week of solid grinding, I finally made some progress. 59 seconds.
Yes.
My first
Sub-minute run. Yeah, okay.
But I figured before the 4th day was up, I could do better.
I
But
mean,
needed to put my mind at
59
ease
too.
if I really wanted a perfect run. So, I closed my eyes and imagined this video's sponsor, the Poggers free-to-play action game War Thunder. One of my favorite free-to-play games available on PC, Xbox,
Gonna
PlayStation, and Mac.
slowly move up.
I had done it.
Guys?
A run with no falling. My best time yet. 53
Although, to be fair, like, it would seem... Yeah, because you're talking about much more effort to get even smaller gains. Like 53 seconds and 43, I imagine the difference between that is insane compared to like getting it to the sub-minute mark. So that's going to be
10
interesting.
seconds away
Yeah,
from
that's
the
gonna be
world
difficult.
record. I should be proud. But that night I tucked myself into bed defeated. It took days to get here.
Yeah.
I made no major errors, but I was still so far from the world record. My mechanical skill just wasn't comparable. The way Ema would float up the tower like a majestic
Oh,
butterfly.
okay.
Oh,
But,
the way he moved.
okay, that's...
Perhaps I couldn't beat
The slight obsessive whisper is just like,
the
okay.
record after all.
Alright.
Or perhaps I just needed some sleep.
Yeah, fair.
I decided to show my time to my stream, and as if overnight, I became a sensation. The world was flocking to my incredible Kugane Tower
Nice.
run. Guys, it's not a big deal. Okay, one more time. Most people had never seen a Kugane speedrun.
I mean, yeah, it's not an
was
official-
the world record.
Okay, maybe not
People
now,
would
but
be
I think
talking about the
it was
tower
just
and
a
then
fun
be
thing to
talking
do,
about
right?
me. They didn't care about Emo Otakon or his antics. I was praised as the guy who does Kugane Tower really fast.
I mean, yeah,
But
yeah, fair enough.
as it does, my glory faded into obscurity as the next big thing came and went. The story of Pint and Kugane Tower forgotten.
Dusted.
And
Rip.
I moved on. Or at least, that's what the world thought.
Oh?
In truth, I continued running Kugane Tower for days. But no matter how much time I put in, I couldn't get faster.
Just there in that
I
range,
was
isn't it? Yeah.
simply not good enough. And so, I stepped down. And yet... there was still a fire burning within
That's the
me.
competitive spirit.
The dog in me was still ravenous. I needed to be better. So first, I needed...
Fine. That is a really cinematic outlook into the emotion of the character that you're portraying. Nice edit.
strength.
Yes.
I still had jobs that were underleveled. So if I leveled Dancer to max level, I could dash twice more.
Okay.
I needed spirit.
Ooh.
This was going to take...
I'm not gonna lie, I'm just gonna keep pausing here. God knows if it's gonna be a really good, like, a thumbnail on YouTube. But yes. Keep going.
time. I needed to make sure my mind was balanced. I smelled the flowers. I raided with friends. I snuggled up tight with my Ishtola body pillow.
For some reason, that's not the weirdest thing I've heard Final Fantasy XIV YouTubers say. Surprisingly. In fact, it's almost not normal if you don't have an Ishtola body pillow. Just saying.
To soothe my mind between runs,
Uh-huh.
I needed strategy.
Of course it's
Sun
Sun
Tzu
Tzu. Yeah, of
once
course.
said, if you know thy enemy, use thy enemy's camera settings. I mimicked
1567.
Emo's
He's right.
strategies to figure out why he used them.
Go on, Azri.
And as it turns out, jumps like this are actually easier with legacy camera.
Huh.
Using standard camera means you have to take a very tight jump around a corner blind. But legacy allowed you to angle your camera and simply swoop around the corner
Oh,
really easy.
interesting.
However, I would end up being partly wrong about Emo's strategies. Speaking of which, I believe it's a good time to bring up a bit of dirt I got on all Emo here.
Alright.
Roll the tape. Okay, very nice. Clean. And stop. There. Back when Emo
Wait,
set the
is-
record.
huh?
Stop.
Wait, that's
Okay,
Ninja.
Very nice. Clean. And stop.
Is it the right? Because ninjas can only. Was it back then? Ninjas could only teleport to a teammate or a friend. They can't just use teleport randomly on a different location. They changed that in a later update, right?
Back when Emo set the record,
Right.
ninjas could only teleport to other players.
Right.
That was later changed, and now ninjas can teleport anywhere they want.
Right, teleports behind you. Yeah, exactly. Like I mained the ninja class. I was like, yeah, that seems legit.
Even right behind you. Is using an alt
Read my mind. Yeah, even behind you. Ooh.
cheating? Maybe. But as the gracious and very attractive famous YouTuber that I am,
I mean, is it really cheating? I mean, back then, yeah, sure, you could have played with that standard, but I mean, nowadays you can just teleport directly to the location you want to go, so it's not really cheating as much as it's using the thing. I mean, I'm looking into this too deep. I think he just means it as a joke.
I shall overlook this transgression. But it does get you wondering. How is a man so dedicated that he makes an alt for this? Or at least gets a friend to stand there? With a brief look in the comments, he says it took 6 hours over 2 weeks to get his time.
That's just impressive.
I've spent a bit longer than that. So is he just a natural talent? Perhaps he had experience in speedrunning before. Wait a minute.
Yeah, that's actually possible. I think mechanical skill, and I think in certain like very repetitive tasks, you really get good at your hand movement. The more you've had use playing certain like older games, you could really have some really powerful speedruns just by having really good motion control in your hands, with controllers and stuff. So not really surprised. It is possible.
Who
He
is
could
this
have.
guy? Stop.
It's not out of the realm of possibility. He has past experience. It's possible.
I quit climbing.
Well, and we reached the end of the video, boys and girls. It's just
Remember? All of this was
Ladies and
just
gents,
an
goddamn.
idea, a plan, that I would surely get around to someday. Alas, I stepped away.
fine. I got like 10 minutes left in the
then
video. I'm not gonna lie. I think you're
months
just gonna go for the tower, in my opinion.
I beat Stormblood.
Nice.
I beat Shadowbringers. The video took so long to make, I finished Endwalker now.
Nice.
Script says I got laid. Real
Nice.
zinger there, Script Pint. Very funny. I think I even convinced myself I had given up. Would it even be that good of a video? It probably wouldn't be worth the effort. There's probably a reason it's been standing for 5 years. And that reason might well be that simply no one cares about Kagane. And that I could live my life letting Emo have his record. Other videos, other accomplishments. That is where I found comfort. Every now and then I'd go back. I would develop the best possible...
It's like one of those old wartime stories where someone walks by and says, "I know I've lost to you before, but I'll get you next time," and then writes down strategies to beat it later. It's like, yeah, that's pretty much like a war PTSD kind of situation. It's like what,
strategies.
like looks at the tower has Vietnam War flashbacks.
Section of the run. The perfect camera
random,
angles.
yeah, cool, okay.
The perfect jumps.
Nice.
Ready to take on the tower again before inevitably quitting once more. I don't know what would really get me back on Kugane Tower. I don't know if I ever will. And so the dream died,
Ooh.
and I forgot.
There's still 9 minutes left in the video. I'm pretty sure he comes back. Anytime now. Ooh. That's a long
The
time.
Moonfire Fair.
Never
a
been
seasonal
here.
event that every year adds a new item and a quest line. But this year, it also added the Moonfire Tower.
Okay.
A jumping puzzle only available for the duration of the event.
Aw.
The tower was last added 3 years ago, in 2019. And of course, in 2019, Emo Oticon got the world record. So in the spirit of my old rival, I thought it prudent to give it a try. The tower was tough. But
Yeah, but I
wasn't
imagine, like,
going
since
for
your
a world
experience with
record. I
Kagane
just
would
wanted a
still be
tweet that people
reasonable.
would like. And like it, they did. Even Soken, the game's composer, liked the tweet.
Oh, nice.
But there was a bigger player about to enter the scene. A player from Japan, known simply as Strawberry Cheese Tart.
You know, I gotta respect Final Fantasy XIV names. They really are creative.
On
Look it up. She has the pink accents as well.
August 19th, 2022,
Okay.
she broke the world record by over 4 seconds.
Oh?
Her run of the tower was damn near flawless. But hardly anyone knows, for the only proof is a tweet with 100 likes. But she still did something great.
Yeah.
Even if the world didn't know. At least I did.
I mean, yeah, sure.
For the first time in years, an Emoticon record was broken.
Okay.
She proved that gods can bleed.
Pint, he's not your mortal nemesis. He's just better than you at climbing a tower. I'm just saying.
But I still had one question. How? How did this guy come out of nowhere and have all these records? No. Who is this guy? Who is Emoticon?
That's such a random statement, but okay, yeah. Sure, who is Emoticon, Mind?
Emo hasn't streamed in 5 years.
Convenient the last time he set the record, I'm just saying.
But I wanted to see if I could find any clips of him progressing the tower. But all I could find is some clips of him being very good at Super Mario Odyssey.
So he has had past speedrunning experience. Not really surprising. Like, look, most speedrunners, I think, in my mind, like, the people who do speedruns to get the attention and, like, all the community attraction and stuff like that, the people who do the speedruns because they genuinely enjoy doing speedruns. So I think if he's one of the latter group, he is going to do speedruns for other games, 100%. I highly doubt it'd be the first time he's doing it.
And this clip with 2 names, one being the party member and the other him.
Pydoids. Okay.
Over the years in speedrunning, sometimes the greatest speedrunners are completely forgotten about, as is the case with Pydoix, who was one of, if not the best Ocarina of Time speedrunner of his time, before he mysteriously vanished. You may have also known Pydo as Shaden, a legendary Mario Odyssey speedrunner who dominated the game for months, leaving his competition in the dust before vanishing once more. Who was this guy? What made him so special? And why did such an incredible speedrunner suddenly disappear and let himself slowly be forgotten over time?
So there.
Well, I get to say I told you so, but that is the most anime background that I've seen in a Pyde video. It's like, who was beating me? He was the world best speedrunning champion from 5 years ago, and he vanished and disappeared. And it's like, oh, like, bro, the background here is just insane. It's not. It's great.
This is who I was dealing with. My rival was a long-lost speedrunning legend. A previous
Nandata. Okay, I'm
world
sorry. I'm
record
sorry for
holder
butchering Japanese. I'm
of
sorry.
Super
Okay,
Mario
goddamn.
Odyssey and Ocarina of Time. And everything clicked. His camera was weird because he's using a controller.
Oh.
His times were so good because he's a prodigy with 11 years
Yeah,
of
I would say
speedrunning
that. Yeah,
experience to
100%. The
boot.
more time you have on a controller, the better you are. Just generally.
But perhaps the most curious thing about
Not even generally a controller. The more experience you have in the mode of like playing the game, the more skill and the more hand-eye coordination you develop, it just sticks. It really is. There's a reason why you see like drone pilots in war. They take professional like RC plane players, because they know that if they have really good control on those like units, it's not that difficult to translate that into an actual real life scenario. So yeah, they use that 100% all the time.
Pydoix is why he runs. He cares not for fame or glory. He does it for the passion of challenge, for the joy of breaking limits. And upon reflection, I considered, perhaps I was too focused on beating him, so concerned with comparing myself to someone better than me, that I had become so sure that I didn't have what it took to beat him.
Oh.
And so on an early autumn morning, I told him, I will beat this.
Oh?
And after 3 years of silence, he responded.
The smiley
And
face
I
of, oh, you can
climbing
try.
again. But this wasn't like before.
Okay.
Something had changed. It was different. This time, I was watching season 7 of Better Call Saul, and over the past few months, this old dog learned some tricks. I found more efficient spots to use my dashes and included Ninja's Blink.
Yeah.
Blink here into Reaper Dash.
Yeah.
Use Peloton
Right,
for
so you'd have to switch your classes in between, otherwise there's no other way of actually doing it. You need to have multiple skills at the same time, right?
crumb of extra movement speed. Dash here and swap jobs to remove Peloton.
Okay.
Peloton again here and remove it again here. Dash on the balcony and then finally on the
That
roof.
jump at the end, that jump towards to get it into the roof is going to be insane. It's like the leap of faith. You make one
This
mistake and it's
is
all over.
the most efficient route for Kugane Tower.
Yeah, okay.
So now all that's left is to master it.
Yeah.
And guess what I did on my first day back?
Try and try again, yeah. You're about
52
You're about 10 seconds away, right?
A new
Still.
personal best. I was back.
Okay, fine, let's see what you got.
The next day I climbed again. All that I needed was a perfect run. It had been a week now, and I still didn't have a time better than 49 seconds.
Still.
I was playing more reckless, taking every corner as fast as I
That's
could.
what you need to do,
So
though.
at times,
You'd
I
miss,
fell.
yeah.
But I figured I'd need practice at the higher sections. So I didn't reset. I kept going. And despite falling during this run, 45 seconds.
Impressive.
I was just over 2 seconds away from emo. At this point,
That is insane progress. Like, to be fair, like, within the span of close to 2 weeks, you're getting there.
any run could be the one.
Yeah.
I knew what a good run felt like. I could sense it. The start, each peg wall, and the scrimbly bimbly
That
section.
name them.
I did them perfectly. If I make this jump, this could really be it.
Yep. Yep, the leap of
this
faith,
be
bro.
the run?
The leap of faith. Yes. Assuming you don't make any mistakes or anything else, of course you made a mistake. You wouldn't.
I jumped.
You just can't have a drama-free video. I'm just saying. Yep. Yep. Ooh.
43.73
That's within-
seconds.
Yeah, that's
15
within
more
15.
seconds
Yeah,
away.
but that's margin of error type shit, honestly.
I was so close.
Yeah, but
I
you're
was
there.
so
You're pretty much there.
close. Do you really think I would quit right here, right now? No frickin' way, hombre. This was not a failure. This was confirmation that I could really do
I
it.
think my battery's about. Hold up. Okay, we're back.
Now all I had to do was finish this.
Okay. Yeah, 2
I
weeks.
grinded, I ground, and I grunned. 6 full hours I
Yeah,
farmed
that leap of
until
faith,
my
brother.
body
That is
was
scary.
tired, but my mind was also tired. I
Yeah.
really wanted to go to bed.
Yeah.
But it was all leading up to this. Emo, Strawberry, Pint, and Kugane Tower. Finally, I would have a world record, and all of my training would pay off.
This is like a character development arc, like the entire anime from like I know I can do this, and like finally sees an opponent worth beating and then actually getting stronger. Nice.
One more
Alright, fine.
time.
Scatter.
I frolicked up the start and cleanly dashed across the roof.
Right. Is this the run?
Then I scuttled on up to the top of Pegwall Beta and clipped the invisible wall.
Of
But
course.
I could still do it. I lost some time to this, but I gained some with my new strategies. So for this
Okay.
to work, I'd have to play beyond perfectly for the rest of the run. Pegwall Mini was a breeze, and Pegwall
Greater than
Alpha fell
perfection.
soon after. I cut through the scrimbly bimbly section like
Oh, yeah.
butter. This was the cleanest I ever did these sections, but one section still remained. The Balcony of Hope.
It's such a dramatic place, like the Balcony of Hope. I know I already paused it before, but it's like, you know, because you pass the Balcony of Hope and then you have to take that jump, which is a leap of faith. I'm just like, damn. Ooh. Ooh. And you played just right? Ooh. Yep. You did it.
Emo Otacon
Congratulations.
was defeated.
New world record. Nice.
And I can finally put this tower
Took a goddamn
behind me.
9.5 months.
The run wasn't perfect. I made mistakes, and it could certainly be broken again. But for now, I was the one who dethroned Pydoix. I rule this tower, and my record is yours. If you can take it, show me what you're made of!
The most dramatic. Come at me, bro.
Oh, hey. Why don't you head on over to pint.gg and
Yeah,
get
let this
yourself
play
a
out.
t-shirt or stickers or something. I worked really hard to make the clothes actually good. And if you buy one, maybe I'll make a plushie, as long as there's no jars involved. Also, I'm playing FF16 on Twitch. Caleb, you...
You know what? That's a great video. There's nothing much for me to say. So, he beat the world record. He now holds the world record for Kogani Tower, I guess. Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe, and catch you beautiful bastards in the next one. Peace. And expect more Pint reactions. I think I should be reacting a bit more to Pint, but it's always been in the Excel sheet and just finally got a chance to get to it. So I'm happy. Peace. Nice.